Hello, beautiful beings of light and love. How are you today? I want to deliver a message about shadow integration and the pros and cons for all people, for both. So those of us who are walking our highest timeline and are doing our self-healing and our inner work, discovery work, that is really, it's being required and asked of all people at this time. So no one is exempt from at least being presented the opportunity to look deeper at the human condition here on this planet in 2024 and the wide variety, the wide array of experiences that are occurring. And I noticed this just personally myself, Emily, in my very unique circle of network of friend groups. You know, like I have a ton of friends who are high-level mystics, mages, priestesses. I have friends who are very much into witchcraft and are like nature goddesses. I have friends who work for billion-dollar tech companies. I have friends who are some of the, I don't know, like what do you call them, like old earth leaders, like really established kind of like toxic patriarchal friends. I have friends in the financial system. My sister is a lawyer and my brother's a lawyer, and I have friends who are lawyers, and I have friends who are writers and artists, and so much of my community is like very artistic, creative people. I have friends who are in the financial industry, the financial district, working with the financial systems. I have just like really what I would call a perfect view of so many different frequencies. And so as somebody who's sitting in the middle of like, okay, old earth, new earth, and being able to see sort of the transitions and also feel the transitions of myself and my own consciousness and the own way that I have been evolving as a human being, even thinking back really early to like my kind of young 20s when I was just graduating college, and the few doorways and portals and moves that I made then from a place of true heart's desire and authenticity, and how those initial movements granted me so much, I guess maybe the word's access to spiritual development. However, what I really want to talk about is that regardless of whether we're over here or over here, we are unified from the unity perspective. And so collectively, we are overcoming the limitations of the lack paradigm, sacrifice, sacrificial templates, the hierarchical imposed unnatural law order of like, I'm a white man, I am better than you, indigenous woman. Like, you know, the like insanity of insanities. We're returning back to our hearts, and we're recognizing that we cannot continue to just rape and pillage our planet and think that there's no consequence on the back end of that. And so I think so many people are waking up to the understanding of like, wow, this is so much more than just like me, Emily, in a third dimensional body. I have an aura, and I have an energy stream, and different parts of my aura, you know, like something that's in my aura out here is in a whole different dimension or plane than something that's in my aura here, or something that's in my body here. It's like I am a multi-dimensional beingness, and the more we're able to do shadow work, the more we can see the full multi-dimensionality of ourselves, and we can learn to use that to our own unique human's heart's desire for the improvement and betterment of human sentience and human experience on this beautiful planet for all peoples, regardless of race, regardless of status, income, regardless of education, just like understanding that our beingness is equal. Like my being and your being we're an equal beingness. And yet at the same time, it's like Esther Hicks says when she's talking about the law of attraction manifestation, she says one human being who is attuned to their divinely given soul source stream blueprint energy frequency, and they're embodying that in their physical body and cells, is, I don't know what number she says nowadays, so she used to be like, is 500 times, 5,000 more times more powerful than a human who's disconnected from their spiritual realms, doesn't believe in spirituality, and is like, I'm just a human in a human body. It's like, you are a magnificent soul having a human experience. And so part of the unlearning, it's like decode to recode, part of the decoding of understanding that this life is a gift. You are a brave, very brave soul. You have decided to come to planet Mama Sophia Gaia in 2024, which means that you know that there are multiple timelines. But here's the thing, at a certain point, you become the influence of your own timelines and portals and the doors that open and close behind you. And so you can walk free upon this earth as an enlightened master if you're willing to, look at the isness of your actions and the way that you impact people when they come into your life. And, everybody, doesn't matter who you are, there's some really negative things that you do to impact people, and there's some amazingly positive things you do to impact people. And the more conscious you become, the more neutral or positive of impact you have upon people. And that is really where we're all trying to go, is because it's like, oh, I would so much rather be a force for inspiration and encouragement and seeing potentialities and elevation than I would rather be a force of destruction and harm and manipulation and all of these ways that our lack-based mentalities have taught us to manipulate the people in our lives with the things that we say and the stories that we tell and the psychic energies that we generate. Sometimes we're generating psychic energies unknowingly, and we are not actually realizing that thoughts create things in the psychic field. This is so easy to understand. If, just as an pure example, I have a conversation with my mom and we talk about my grandma, then whatever we say about my grandma creates energy in the astral realm, and that energy can be beneficial to my grandma or destructive to my grandma. Now, my grandma can actually become unpenetrable and like completely in her own golden egg of non-affected, like whatever any other influence outside myself is speaking into existence in the astrals does not need to affect the way that I and my Emily body temple connects to my pure divine organic soul stream soul print energy. But most people on planet Earth, like, they have not cultivated spiritual devotion for multiple years of practice and daily prayer and yoga and breath work, and like most grandmas on the planet, if we're just talking about grandmas, they don't really understand that they're sovereign, and so they are impacted by whatever is being said about them. And I think it's important just in general for us to realize that the astral realm is real. So the things that we speak and the things that we think, they do impact those people around us, especially if the people around us are highly sensitive and empathic and have a lot of clairsentience and a lot of telepathic ability. Then they will receive those messages and be able to pick up any type of information or energy that we are, broadcasting. It's like we're all media channels. We're broadcasting media. It's like, do you want to broadcast media that is like enlightening and awakening and like helpful and inspiring, or do you want to broadcast media that is anything you do to someone else, you're actually just doing to yourself, because this is a mirrored reality. It's like, it's really, it can be complex to try to fully integrate and understand, but when you're being presented with something in front of you, you lined up to it. If it's in your experience, it's part of you, it is a reflection of you. And so it's your job as an energetic master to realize like, oh, thank you. Like, thank you for helping me on my path, on my journey. Help me see something. Help me think a new thought. Help me perceive in a new way. Help me fully integrate my beauty and my wholeness and my, this is what you can do and say, and how you can begin to interact with your reality and the people in your reality. And it's amazing the amount of divine discernment and like true guidance. The other day I was driving down the road here in Sedona and I wasn't paying attention. I was going somewhere important, and there was a time that I needed to be there, and I missed the turn. And I'm not kidding you, the second I missed the turn, just like full body alert, like from my guides, like, hey. And I was listening, I was conscious, I was paying attention, I'm in attunement. Like, I quickly was able to make a U-turn, take a turn that if I had not been present and been able to, it's like William Carlos Williams, the poet, says, this is one of the original teachings in poem. Like, one of the most valuable pieces of content I ever have created, most valuable teaching that I have ever created, is this silly little like $5 guidebook of how to create your own poetic inspiration. That thing, it is simple and yet profound, and yet like it has informed the way that I have moved through my life so much. And one of the things in that booklet is witness and adjust. Witness and adjust. Why would we have emotional system and emotional guidance system if it wasn't there for us to witness and then make adjustments in our word, thought, and action? Like, if you're feeling depressed, if you're feeling down, if you're feeling, the lower spectrum of emotions that Abraham Hicks talks about, like fear, insecurity, jealousy, anger, rage, shame, embarrassment, like all the things, just if you're feeling the lower density of emotions and you're trying to work yourself up the emotional scale so that you feel happiness and joy and bliss and ecstatic oneness and unity and friendship and laughter and joy and like partnership and all, it's like we're each doing that journey individually, and how that journey plays out for each of us is so unique and based on so many factors, including legacy burdens, things that we've inherited from our ancestry, as well as past life, which is really parallel life. So we could just say, which is soul stream energy, that our soul stream, it's coming so fast, I can't talk fast enough. Slow down. If our soul stream is very ancient, and so say our soul stream has been in many of the ancient civilizations like Sumeria or Atlantis, Golden Atlantis, or even non-Golden Atlantis, Toxic Atlantis, or the beautiful lighted city of energy, light beings, the Lemurian energies. Some of these things we really, in our today's world, we would never have the, we gain access to those energy frequencies once we're able to integrate and purify and fully transmute the lower densities into greater understandings. And this can happen snap of a finger. Like, this doesn't have to be something that is painful, long, drawn out. And most of us, it will be, because there's a level of suffering that our DNA family, like lineages, if we think back, like, for example, 6 to 9 million women were burnt, hung, raped, tortured, beheaded, killed. 6 to 9 million women. That, like, the historians, the statisticians, they don't even know how many. But regardless, whether it was 6 or whether it was 9, that's a lot of women who have, in female bodies. If you're in a female body, you know this. If you're in a male body, you might not know this. You might have some other energy that you're really battling, like conquering. Like, maybe conquering's in your blood if you're in a male body. But if you're in a female body, fear, safety, protection, like, these are things that we are learning to relax. Like, oh my God, I'm safe. Oh my God, I'm protected. Oh my, like, oh my, like, it's like returning the inner authority to oneself. And so it doesn't matter, like, all people have parts of them that are narcissistic, and all people of them have parts of them that are empathic. And in this example, I'm using narcissistic as toxic male energy, and I'm using empathicness as soft feminine receptive energy. But either way, too empathic, it's not healthy. Too narcissistic, not healthy. It's like the narcissism and empathness of each and every being of us needs to be integrated in a way that is generative and is like positively, generatively polarized. Like, it is one thing to be polarized, but if you understand polarity, you realize that polarity is like a spinning orb, and it can go good or it can go bad. So it's about the conscious creatorship that each individual has within, and their ability to enlighten their consciousness and come to a place where they, like, break out of the old systems of thought that maybe they have inherited, or maybe they've been taught, or maybe you're kind of old and, like, you've just been steeped in old ideas that this planet is now blasting sunflares. Galactic center, great grand central sun, is blasting flares to our planet. And so literally the light quotient of our earth, the light quotient of our bodies, the light quotient of our minds, it is elevating. And as it elevates, we must take time to witness and adjust so that we can navigate ourselves into the higher timelines of peace and unity consciousness that we all deserve. And so, you know, destruction is part of creation. Like, in nature, a lightning bolt will come down and just zap. Like, have you ever been to Yellowstone and seen the wildfires? Like, if something in the Yellowstone forest, say that all the pine trees have become infected with the pine beetle and all the trees are dying, and without the trees, this is impacting other parts of the biosphere. And so, you know, divine energy will zap the trees and start the wildfires so that the cones can break open and the seeds can fall, and the regeneration of what is a healthy planetary biosphere can happen. And yet in our modern world, it's just like, oh, I like to build some more condominiums, so I'll just whack down all those trees, and, like, I won't even think about it. I won't replace the carbon oxygen exchange that was happening. I'll just keep doing it. And, like, the more that you keep doing that, the more and more this body, this form, this humanity becomes an endangered species. It's like, wake up, wake up. Like, come on. Money is not that high on a pedestal that you're willing to let your moral virtue and your ethos just fly out the window, and you hurt the people in your life. That's absurd. Like, I don't know. Is it just me, or is that absurd? I feel like, you know, as a person who doesn't really value money that high on my list of values, I seem to always have what I need to get to explore what I love and what I do, and, like, write my poetry and read my books and drink my tea and pet my cat and like go on my hikes and swim in the river and all the things that are like truly soul fulfilling to me. And so we need to witness and adjust. And you know, in my particular archetype of my astrological influences, I have some unique placements, and if we're just looking at the gene keys, I just share this as an example. So I am a fixer this life as my main life's work. I'm here to fix, and being a fixer is like got pros and cons. One of the cons is that you're able to easily see problems. When you're the fixer, it's like you have to clearly perceive the problem so that you can fix it and make the solution. I also can clearly see solutions. And as this archetype of being a bridge builder or a fixer, I'm here to fix desire. Like, fucking, could you get a deeper thing you have to fix? Human desire? And I'm supposed to move that to lightness in the gene key energy. And then I'm supposed to take that lightness and I'm supposed to move that to rapture. I'm supposed to basically like rapture people. Like, hey, wake up. Like, what are we doing? Let's get together and like actually collaborate in ways that are beneficial for us and our planet, for our bodies, our minds, and our emotions. Not for some crazy anarchist, like crazy destructive thing. No, for solutions. Let's fix this shit. Like, we've got big, great work to do. So I feel like, oh, the phone's telling me the battery's low, which means that it's probably time to go. Yeah, just, are you aware? Are you listening? Are you receiving information from your guides? Do you have the courage? Do you have the bravery? Do you have the ability to witness and adjust and to really allow yourself to be an artist? I really think that artistry is the thing that, it's like the Renaissance, you know? There was the Renaissance, and then there was the burning of women, and then there was the hippie movement, and then there was the shooting of John Lennon, and then there was really the turning of the age of Aquarius, which is the golden chain, and that gave us the ability to choose our timelines and walk upon them with faith and strength and courage and determination and inner authority, sovereign power. And so the enlightenment is unstoppable because the planet is ready now. The planet has elevated itself to a point of, I'm seeing a little ant taking something to its den. Ant spirit. Time to collaborate. It's like, we can't do this alone, and we need each other. And also we have to help each other. We have to help each other up Jacob's ladder. Jacob's ladder as a metaphor for the order of the angels. And all of it starts from here. Still, center, peace, contentment, absolute beingness, pure silence, potential, love, and then it goes out in all directions, and that is how we become whole beings. And if you look at the etymology of the word health, to be healthy is to be whole. And when we're healthy, then we're evolutionary, we're avant-garde, we're creative, we're energized, we're for life. Like, we are for life. We are for life. Nature is for life. Nature gives so generously to us. And so we have to learn to take that reflection of nature and treat ourselves with the same respect, and to treat others with that respect, and to be for solutions, because the solution paradigm is where it's at. And yeah, that feels like the end of this transmission. Much love.